This is Selena Yvette, host of Stories from Planet Earth. Thanks for listening to the following show on Public House Media.
Hey, you're listening to Girl Hustle with Lee and Chelsea. We are two girls making our way in sales and entrepreneurship.
We set out to make this podcast after entering our late 20s and realizing we were hitting a wall and felt like our lives and careers were stagnant. After expressing this feeling to countless other women, we realized we weren't alone.
So each week we're bringing you real conversations with real people that are authentic, realistic, and relatable in hopes that you can grow into the best version of yourself. So strap in and let's hustle. Everybody, it's Lee and Chelsea here with our guests today, Truthfully Charlie. Woo-hoo. Hey. Thanks for being here. I learned about Charlie from my lash lady, Luna Lash, or Margot, and she was telling me all about Charlie, and I was like, oh, I've got to check this chick out. And I was like, oh, she's so perfect to come on our podcast. So, yeah, we want her to come on here and talk about what she loves and what she does and how she got into it. So, tell us the things, girl.
Yeah, so I kind of think it started when I was I'm 23 now, and when I was 14, my parents split up when I was in 6th grade, then when I was 14, my mom got remarried, and we moved to Indiana. So I moved from Crestwood with, like, everybody I grew up with, to Indiana, so it was the summer before my junior year, actually, I think. So I was probably older than 14. So I moved there and I had no friends. I didn't know anybody, and I had this whole summer before school, so I couldn't even really make friends either. So I was just like up in my bedroom, and I discovered like YouTubers, and these girls, I was like, they just get online and they talk about makeup and clothes, and I was like, I love that. So my friend and I actually started like filming like hauls and like silly stuff like that just for ourselves. Mm-hmm. We literally, I don't think we ever even did anything with them. Mm-hmm. We just like messed around with it. And then I realized that I really liked that kind of thing, but I didn't know if I really wanted to do YouTube. So I started an Instagram, and it was called Fashion Pie. I have no clue where I got that from. Like what?
Genius. I love it.
Yeah, so it's called Fashion Pie. And my idea at first was I kind of wanted to be like, I didn't ever want to show my face. Like, I just wanted to, I wanted to always be like outfit of the day is like taken like this. Mm-hmm. They can't see that, but whatever.
She's not showing her face.
Like a selfie.
Yeah.
And so that was the idea. And then I started to realize that I like wanted to talk about other things than just clothes. So it eventually changed, and I've had like 5 names since then. My very last one before this was just Charlie Suzanne, which my middle name's Suzanne, but it always drove me crazy because my Charlie only has 1 E in it, but that wasn't available, so I had to put 2 E's. Mm-hmm. So I kept getting stuff sent to me with Charlie on it. Like, someone even sent me like an embroidered makeup bag, and it was Charlie. And I was like, that's not my name. It drove me crazy. But like, I can't say it. They're like, well, it's your name online.
Right.
So it took me months, and my husband actually came up with my name now, which is Truthfully Charlie, and that is just like, I finally feel like I'm like, that's what I want. That's like more my brand, and I really love it. So yeah, it really took off when I was in high school, very awkward, like had no friends, and now it's like what I do full time. So
that's
amazing. Yeah, that's kind of how it started, but.
That's so cool. My biggest question that I always have for people that do YouTube channels and blogs and all that is how you make your money.
Yeah.
Because it seems like the most glam,
fabulous,
beautiful, fun, wonderful. Everyone wants to do it, but making money, hello.
Right, like
I got to pay the bills.
Right. So a lot of it comes from partnerships that I do, obviously with different brands and stuff. Some things are like I'll sign up for like a 3-month partnership, or I'll sign up for like a 6-month partnership, something like, or sometimes just a one-time thing. Mm-hmm. My husband and I also do social media management as well, so that's kind of like our steady income. That's what helped me take like the leap into being able to quit my full-time job, because I'm like majorly scared about money. Like I have to have money in savings. I have to be growing my bank account. I'm constantly worried about it. Like, and my husband's the opposite of me. He's like, let's live for today. Let's just, it doesn't matter. Don't worry about it. Right.
YOLO.
Yeah. So like we're a good mix because he like calms me down, and I'm also like, whoa, we actually do need money. So chill, dude.
Yeah.
But yeah, so the blogger side of it is really, it is fairly steady now that I have been doing it full time for almost a year now. But before then, it was really sporadic. It was like some months I'd be like, wow, I could do this full time. I'm making more than my full time job. But then I was like, wait a second, I need benefits.
Right.
So once I got to a point where I was able, like, benefit wise, it didn't make sense for me to stay at my job. Like, I was making way more money just doing this. That's when I really took the leap. So
How long did that take?
I started really focusing on growing my account when I got married, which is almost 4 years ago.
Wow.
And I've been doing this full time for about a year now. So
Okay.
3 years, but like 3 years hardcore. Like I went 2 years without missing a single day of posting. I posted every single day.
That's amazing.
Holy cow.
I'm
Talk
like,
about dedication.
it was
wow, 4 days. our episode airs today.
So like I don't do that anymore because actually I don't even know if I recommend that to a lot of people, especially for maybe for a business, post every day, but for a blogger you're gonna drain. You're not.
Because how do you come up with all that content?
Right? No,
Yeah.
I think my husband was also like drained. He was like, I don't want to take another picture of you ever again. So yeah, but I was like, I want to post every single day. I want to be consistent. And that's all I read for everybody who was successful doing it. They were all just like, be consistent. There's no like secret formula or recipe, whatever.
Yeah.
And that is true. You just have to be consistent.
So when you were working your job and you were doing your blog, what was your day like? What were the hours that you were putting in?
Yeah, so my full-time job, I had to be there at 9 o'clock. It was 9 to 5. And then, so during the summer it was nice because I'd come home and it'd still be light outside. So I could take the pictures just like after work or whatever. I usually had like a plan. But when it gets darker earlier, I would have to do batch content, which like on a Saturday, I would shoot like 7 different outfits and have like 5 different products that I'm going to take pictures of and that kind of thing. And my husband and I would just go find like a cute spot or drive around Louisville, and I would change in the back of the car and we would take a week's worth of pictures in a day.
You talk about a ride or die. That's an amazing husband.
He's a homie.
Like,
He's a homie.
gosh, that's
Yeah.
awesome.
So most of the time when I got home from work around 5, I focused on my blog until like 9 o'clock and then went to bed.
Ooh.
I know. Looking back, I'm like, I don't know how my husband put up with that. I'm like, you need your own thing, dude. He's like all about my Instagram and stuff. But
That's awesome.
That's amazing.
he's a
Very
sweetie.
cool.
That's cool.
Yeah.
So you mentioned obviously it started off as a fashion blog and then you got more interested in other things.
Yeah.
Kind of like talk to us about, what else you're about, what else you stand for.
So I know it's getting more popular now, but I really like the like education side of it. And by that I mean like when I first started blogging, I reached out to so many girls and I was like, I love what you do. Like, do you have any tips? And I got so many people that didn't respond, or they were like, it just takes time. And I'm like, no, like, give me like some.
I get that it takes time.
Yeah, like,
I'm asking for help.
Right. And then you've probably heard community over competition.
Yes, I
Um,
love that.
Yeah.
I have never heard it put that way, but we have talked about it, I think, on every
Every single podcast
past
talk about that. Yeah.
There's room for everybody. And so that's kind of where I was like, wait, I want to share this stuff with people. I don't want people to think that there's no way they can't do what I'm doing, because you can. Really, anybody can do it. You just have to like actually want to do it. So that's like the main thing. I really love sharing like how I did the picture, the filters,
I know, I was looking on here.
all that kind of stuff.
You have, that I had a couple questions about and I knew I'd forget.
Yeah.
You have the free IG highlight covers.
Yeah.
It's on her page. Like if you go to Truthfully Charlie on Instagram, she has a link up top and it has all these options for her website.
Yeah.
And one of them was that, and so I was like, oh,
yeah. So on Pinterest, when Instagram highlight covers first came out, everybody like didn't really know how to use them. I think I was the same way.
Yeah.
And I found out I made some for myself. And I posted them on. It was back when you couldn't just edit the highlight cover. You had to like upload each one to your story. So people were like,
Oh, these are cute, girl.
Thanks.
Yeah.
So people were like, sorry, I'm about to upload like 12 covers. Ignore the next like 12 slides of my Instagram story. So, and I was like always changing mine because I was just like into making them. And then I had a girl message me and she had like 100,000 followers. And she was like, I love your Instagram highlight covers. Where did you make them? And I was like, oh, I made them. And she was like, if I pay you, can you create some for me? And I was like, you don't have to pay me. Like, I can just do it. Like, what do you want? So I made some for her, and it's funny, like, I've actually made like 5 for her since then, and she pays me because she like forced me into it. But I was like, wait a second, I was like, I like making these. I should just, all the ones that I've made, I should just put them on Pinterest. And I just put the title as Instagram highlight covers, so anybody who gets on there and looks for them, they'll pop up. And that actually was like really good for my Instagram. My views to my Instagram went way up.
How many views do you have a week?
It's probably anywhere, like 1,500 to 3,000. Depends. It depends though.
I was over 100 today. 97.
Yeah.
I succeeded.
Yeah, it just depends. Sometimes it gets, if I don't, like, there's been times, even recently, where I haven't posted in like 5 days and it drops. And I try really not to let that number bother me because I'm like, oh, it's going down, it's getting further and further. But then you have to remember how quickly it can go back up.
Right.
It's like you post one picture and the next day it's up like 100. So
yeah, and we talk about sales a lot. So I always like to like try to be like, hey, so in sales, when you're having like a rough patch, one of the things me and my coworker were talking about, it's like you're one call away from changing your entire fiscal year. It takes one call,
that's
one
awesome.
Customer, 1 day of lots of views.
Right.
Hashtag. Yeah. So I'm really rookie in this learning.
No, you're funny. But yeah, so that's that part I'm really into. But I'm kind of getting more into like home stuff now that I actually have a house. We've been in an apartment since then, since we got married. So I'm kind of getting into that. I'm not very good at it, but I want to be more like the affordable side of like home decor, because I see these girls on like to know it, and they spent like $600 on a tiny graphic for their wall.
So
and
depressing.
I know. I'm like, I can't buy that, but I
oh
can.
my gosh, where'd you
probably
get that outfit?
Yeah,
it's like $7,000 for a sparkly sequin vest. I'm like,
never
Like,
mind.
maybe a little out of my
it's
budget.
cute, but like not that cute.
Yeah.
So
Do I need groceries or do I need this sweater? So yeah, a little bit of home. But the main thing is I just really want people to feel like they can message me and ask for help. I really like when girls message me and they're like, do you have any tips? I wish I still had it. I used to have like a set thing in my notes that I would copy and paste to send to people, because it would always happen where I'd be in the middle of something and some girl would message me and I'd be like, oh, I have so many things I want to tell you, but I'm so scatterbrained right now. So I need to have that again. It was just like my best tips for starting your Instagram and growing it. So yeah, that's the main thing. I just want girls to feel comfortable, and guys, asking me for help, how I did it, and I just want people to know that you can do it. Anybody can do it.
That's amazing. That's such a good mindset, especially because there is it's so competitive, and I feel like everyone's like competing for like different partners and competing for this and competing for like the most followers. So that's really great.
Thanks.
What do you think? How do you think that mentality kind of came about in you? Because it's really, I feel like I didn't get into that mentality until I was like in my mid-20s. Okay. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, I feel like I was a little poop head for a long time. I was about to say a bad word. I had to censor myself.
Oh, you poop head.
I don't know. We can curse on here. I was a huge shithead. That's what I'm trying to say. Cool. But how do you think, where did that mentality come from in you?
I think that I was just so bothered by nobody sharing. When I was asking people, I was like, why are you acting like it's some big secret? Like, I know you do. It's something you have to work for. And there's things that I have over time. It did take me a year or two to learn something specific. But like, why do I need to make this other blogger or influencer go through it too? Why can't I just give them a heads up? Like, hey, this is how you do it. I mean, obviously, they're not going to become me. No, even if they have the exact same amount of followers as me, they're not going to. No one's going to be like, oh, I'm not going to follow both of them.
Yeah.
That just doesn't make any sense.
I love that.
So I guess I just realized, like, I wanted, there's like a saying, they're like, be the person you needed when you were younger or whatever.
Oh, I love that.
So like, I just like want to be like someone feels comfortable asking help for.
One thing I really love, and I think it's a huge rarity, is that you're like, yeah, let me help you for free.
Yeah.
Okay, no one ever does that.
Right, yeah.
Like, it's either are you crazy or are you genius? Like, tell us how it's working.
Right. So I sometimes do get myself in trouble, and I have to, like, my husband has helped me with this too, because my social media management is a totally different thing. Like, when it comes to that, like, don't do anything for free, in my opinion. Like, that is my, my education, everything that went into that. I think my time is really valuable.
Absolutely.
And that people do, if they have questions or they want to, like, pick my brain, whatever, that is something that they need to pay for. But when it comes to this, which is more like a hobby that I have just been really lucky to make it into being my full-time job, I'm fine with sharing, because I'm not going to do the work for you.
Yeah.
I will give you all the tips that you need. You can even look through the hashtags I use, whatever, but in the end, I can't post for you. I can't go out and take the pictures for you. I can't write the caption for you. So I think that's just why, that's how I've realized that I'm fine. It makes me feel good to share, and I love when, like, girls get excited and I see them, like, I love when I give someone tips and then I actually see them, like, applying it, and I'm like, oh, their post got so many likes. So I think that's why, but I don't want to get myself into trouble by telling people, like, hey, you should work for free, because you shouldn't.
Right. Mm-hmm.
But I think just like that, this kind of thing specifically, I want to help other people.
I love that.
Thanks.
Right. That is great. And we talk a lot about, like, putting a value on your self-worth and, like, paying for an actual service that's legit. And I think that it's really important that you've kind of found that cool balance with you actually genuinely want to help people, but you know what you're worth.
Right.
I love that.
Thank you. Thanks.
Okay, so I have something I really want to talk about.
Yeah. Oh my god.
We have something in common, and I think it is so awesome that you're so vocal about it and amazing, and it's like part of, like, your brand, but, like, your religion.
Yes. Yeah.
It takes a lot of guts to be like, this is me, this is what I believe.
I didn't used to, so.
Yeah. So can you, like, share where you were, like, inspired to share that, or what that's like, or something? Because that's, like, a big part of you.
Yeah, definitely. I think for a long time I didn't share it, and it felt weird.
Kind of like you're hiding.
Yeah, I was like, I don't want to hide it. I don't know why I'm hiding it. But again, like, back to the education thing, I wanted people to know that I'm Mormon, member of Church of Jesus Christ Latter-day Saints, but I'm also Christian, and a lot of people really don't know that. A lot of people, like, either have no clue what a Mormon is, or they have some weird thought that they found online, or someone told them about Mormons, or they just know that they're the people walking around on the side of the road in suits.
They're really nice. really nice.
So I really wanted to be open about it, and I wanted to be able to share, like, I'll share, like, quotes and stuff on my story or on my feed or whatever, and I wanted to feel comfortable doing that, so I was like, I just have to start doing it. I have to let people know, like, now's the time. If you're going to unfollow me because you don't like Christian people, go ahead and do it. But it really has helped me and strengthened my testimony, because it makes me feel more comfortable just talking about it in general and face-to-face with people. Because I also didn't used to do that either. I'd be like, oh, Mormons, like, who? Yeah, I know a little bit about them. I've heard of them a time or two.
Heard of them.
Spent the last 23 years of my life going to church.
I'm aware.
Yeah, so I'm very proud and happy that I decided to do that, and it also makes it a lot easier too, because I used to get, like, proposals for, like, to promote, like, a wine, or promote, like, these different things that really didn't match my brand, and I'd have to be like, no, thank you. But now I just, like, don't get those. They're like, wait a second, that's not our girl. So it really helped me out a lot too from some awkward conversations. So
for sure.
That's amazing.
That's cool.
What advice would you have for people who, because I think that religion is such a hot topic right now, and I think that it's really it's kind of coming back into people are much more comfortable talking about their religion.
I think so too.
For a long time, it was very, very, it's like,
taboo.
Don't talk about it because there's so many, like,
preconceived
notions about, like, prejudice and, like, whatever, and, like, you would just assume, like, I can't say this because people think I'm this way. So what advice do you have for people who maybe are fearful of, I don't know,
sharing,
coming out as Christian, you know what I mean? But
right.
Being very open and honest about their religion.
I think that you just have to be careful of the way that you say things. And I had to realize that just because I tell you what I believe in doesn't mean you have to believe it.
Yeah.
Like, you could tell me that you worship those weights over there, and I'd be like, good for you, girl. Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah. So, like, just like you, I like to listen to other people's beliefs, but at the end of the day, I have my own. It doesn't mean that you're trying to push it on me.
Mm-hmm. Right.
I just, like, want to be educated about what other people believe, so that when someone's like, oh, those people are crazy, they worship the devil, I can be like, no, they don't. I talked to one, and I know what they believe. So I think just, obviously, the more you do it, the more comfortable you are doing it, and also be comfortable saying you don't know, because people will ask me questions. They'll be like, well, why do you do this? Or what's the reason? Why don't you drink coffee? And honestly, I don't know all the reasons. I don't know all the answers to everything. And I have to be comfortable being like, you know what? I don't know. There's probably an answer for that, but I just try my best. I go to church on Sunday and I pray and read my scriptures when I remember to, not every day like I should. But yeah, I just think being comfortable and not knowing all the answers has really helped me be more vocal about it. Does that make sense?
No, absolutely.
Just being totally truthfully.
Hey,
it's just me. It's just me. Yeah. So yeah, like I could not recite, like, people are like Bible bashers, like, could just like know a scripture off the top of their head. Not your girl for that.
Yeah.
Like, I could pull up an app on my phone and probably find you my favorite, like, verse or something, but it's not like that for me. So, but yeah,
I just think there's a power when you can just fully embrace who you really are and share that with people and do it in a way it's like, oh, that's awesome. Like, I didn't notice or didn't realize or
and whatever. I think, too, you've probably seen this, too, in our religion. There is a lot of things people don't want to talk about or they're not okay with, and I want other people who are scrolling through Instagram and they find me and they're like, oh, she's Mormon, to realize that I'm not, like, some perfect Molly Mormon who does everything right, and I want to be open about that.
Yeah.
And there are some things that I believe that are a little bit different from what the church talks about, or what the church, there's some topics that the church hasn't even, like, come out and spoken about specifically. And I want people to know that you can have a testimony of the gospel, but you don't have to have a testimony of the people that are in it, if that makes sense. Because there's some people that I'm like, oh, why are you telling people you're Mormon? Because you are so the opposite of a good Christian. Like, and you're just putting this bad name out for all of us. And I just want people to be able to scroll through my Instagram and be like, oh, she's a normal person.
Yeah.
So.
Heard that.
Right.
Relatable. That's awesome. So, I want to talk more about how you're building these relationships. I think that, we've addressed that you are totally you. You put all the scary things out there. And, maybe some of the things that you do, like you said, maybe someone who has very similar beliefs to you, I'd be like, what?
Right.
You're like, I'm not trying to be perfect. I'm trying to be perfect, but I'm just trying to be me.
Right.
Perfectly me. And so how has that helped you in building these relationships? And I know you had reached out to people. Do people reach out to you? Like, what are your steps? I could put all of that into, like, a question.
Like, steps for helping
building brands.
Or,
like, partnerships.
Yeah, I mean, I think the main thing is to stay authentic to what, like, it would be weird if I posted about Cheetos, right? Like, my brand has nothing really to do with Cheetos. But I have gotten asked, like, I've been sent, like, a proposal for, like, post about Cheetos. We'll pay you to post about Cheetos. And when I first started, I posted about pretty much, like, I really wanted the experience, and I'm really into, like, product shots and food photography. So I wanted to put that on my Instagram. So I was taking in those kind of sponsorships. But then I realized, like, that's not really what I want my page to be about. So the main thing is to be okay with turning down things. Just, like, forget about the money for a second and be like, how lame would I be if I posted about this just for the money? People are going to be able to tell.
Right.
It's gonna look like an ad. It's not gonna.
That's so true.
Yeah, and I
because I'm like scrolling through yours and like Cheetos on here would look so
right. It's so
weird.
I
probably crave some, but
yeah,
it doesn't fit.
So I think that's the main thing is just staying. You have to find your way into figuring out who you are and what you want your page to be, and just sticking to that authentically. Because there has been like back to the religion thing. Was asked to go to the Rabbit Hole Distillery, and it was going to be like a huge blogger event, and there was going to be swag bags and all this stuff, and I could go there and be just not drink, and I could go there and talk about how I don't drink, but I had a fun time. But wouldn't that be weird?
Right, like that's not what they would want. And
right,
that's not what you would want.
And you guys reading that would be like, wait a second, you're telling me you don't drink, but you went to
like,
this event
for sure.
So you just have to be authentic to who you are is the main thing. With building these relationships, I think that I have, after turning people down, obviously I'm like gentle about it. I'm not just like, no, you're not worth my time. But you just have to telling people like, I don't think I'm the best match for you, that you're really doing them a favor, because my followers are probably not going to click on an ad about Cheetos. So I'm not going to help the Cheeto people out at all. Like you're probably not going to get any sales from me. So you're really you're doing everybody a favor by turning down those kind of things.
So do most people reach out to you, or do you reach out to people?
I mostly get reached out to. In the beginning, I reached out to everybody.
How many people were you reaching out to?
Oh, I probably sent like 10 proposal emails a day.
Okay.
And like I would make proposals online, like full like PDF like packets, and email them to people like my idea. I was like obsessed with it. Now I don't do that as much. I pretty much just if there's something specific that I'm like, oh, I'm going to buy this anyways or whatever, then or like recently we were in Florida and the weather was really bad, so we decided to stay a few more days. And there was a really cute hotel, so I reached out to them and I was like, hey, we're going to be in town for a few more days. Would you guys want to partner together? And they ended up letting us stay for the last 3 nights, and I shot my husband has a drone, so he did some like work for them in exchange.
Oh, cool.
So like those
so
kind
there for free?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna start telling people. I'm like, hey, a blog. And I'm like, write me a paragraph. Yeah, and we'll talk.
So yeah, in those kind of situations, I will reach out.
That's awesome.
Yeah, or like sometimes like if there's something I want to do for free for someone, like just let me post about them. I'll like let them know like, hey, I want to talk about you on my blog, or I want to post about you. Is there like a specific code or link I could give my followers? So really I'm not getting paid for the ad, but I'm just asking if there's any like additional information they would want me to share, because I'm going to share it anyways.
Yeah,
that's awesome. If someone's starting off and they really want to start building partnerships and start reaching out, what advice do you have for them, or like what are some things that they should be including in like sponsorship proposals?
So the media kit, which is basically like your resume, I always include several pictures of like past collaborations I did. I'll even add in like what the company asked for and how I executed it, and the stats, basically like your following, your insights, all those kind of things, other platforms they can find you on, like Pinterest or YouTube, whatever. And also just to be really, like don't copy and paste the same message for everybody, because they can tell that you really don't care about them. Just like when I'm sure you guys have gotten messages and they're like, hey girl, I have this really awesome brand I want to share with you. You'd be perfect for it.
And you can get 20% off all the deals.
Yeah, and I'm
pay $500.
Yeah, I'm like, you sent that same message to everybody else. You don't care about me.
Yeah. Yep.
So just be real and
very
yeah, it's gross. It's like slimy. Like
it is a little bit.
Don't do that.
At first, like if you got in on it, like at the ground level, I'm like, oh, cool. But now, like, you get 5 of those a week, and you're
right.
Like, oh.
Like, same thing.
Yeah.
So yeah, just to be real with the people and be like, hey, I've been following you for a while, or hey, I just found your Instagram account. I love your product. I love your page. Blah blah blah. I would love to partner with you. So just be real with them. Like, don't tell them you're a huge fan if you literally just followed them yesterday, because they'll probably be like, you just followed us yesterday.
Yeah.
So
for sure.
Nice.
Being real.
I love it.
I love it.
But should we do yoga time?
I think we should do yoga time.
Yoga
So at the end of every interview, we have do you do yoga at all? Are you into yoga?
My mom does yoga, so she's forced me a few times, but
no worries. So sometimes at the end of a yoga class, you'll do like the stuff with the teacher, and at the end they'll be like, okay, hold whatever pose you want for like this is like free time. Do whatever pose you want. So we always give our guests an opportunity at the end of our interview to just talk about something that you're really passionate about, you're really jazzed about. It can be anything from so if you agree to talk about
now's my time. It's an ad.
A Netflix show that you just watched that you want to talk about, like some really deep spiritual whatever. So this is your yoga time. So
oh, that's cute.
Take a little time, girl.
I want to use this time wisely. Well, I mentioned a little bit about my husband and I's social media management, and that is a huge passion of mine. Really, the content creation part of it is. So my husband's a photographer, and we work with a few local businesses and restaurants to shoot their product for them. So we're actually just rebranding. We were Pink Blink Media, which is what I was. It was kind of when it was mainly just my thing, but now that my husband and I both do it, we rebranded. Actually, this month has what we've been focusing on. So we haven't really announced it, but I'm assuming by the time this podcast is out, it has been. So we're going to be Make Waves Media.
I love that.
Cute. Thanks. So that is something I'm really passionate about, and I really love to help. I don't like calling small businesses because I want them to pretend like they're big businesses anyways.
Yeah.
I'm like,
I hate like the word small business.
Yeah, I'm like, it's a local business.
So it's like, hello.
You don't have to call them small.
I'm just a business.
Right.
The end.
So a huge passion of mine is helping local businesses with their social media and just helping them create content that reflects their brand more accurately.
I love that.
So yeah, I think that's the main thing. Hopefully by then our website is not even going to be the name was taken, the URL was taken. So our URL is going to be yoursocialmediamanaged.com. So you can check it out. We have like different services that we offer and stuff, or just monthly things, whatever. But yeah, I'm really excited. I feel like rebranding is way more. You guys probably feel that way now too.
Oh my gosh.
You're just like, this is so much more me.
When you figure out like what you're about, you are able to like thoroughly like articulate it through your rebrand. It
powerful.
Is so powerful.
Yeah.
So that's amazing.
Thank you.
Awesome.
Thank you.
Well, where can all the people find you? Give us your social media handles, your blog, yada.
So it's at Truthfully Charlie, 1 E in Charlie. And then Facebook is just Truthfully Charlie blog, and then YouTube, you can either search Truthfully Charlie or Charlie Suzanne. I think it still pops up under both. But
nice.
That's where you can find me.
Yay. Amazing. Great. Well, thank you so much for coming on
Of course.
today.
Thank you for asking me.
What you're about.
Thank
we
you.
appreciate you and your time.
Thank you.
And we will be back next week with another amazing episode of Girl Hustle. Make sure to follow us on social media at Girl Hustle Podcast. Give us a review. Rate us. It really helps us a lot. Even if you hate it, just like, tell us that you hate the podcast. We don't care. It'll be a rating and a review.
And we can get better.
And we love improving. But thanks you all again, and hope you have a great Thursday. Bye.